Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Bernard Fields, your multimedia specialist, and you're tuned in to another episode where we are going to discuss tips, topics, and techniques for you, the designer. So let's just jump right in there. I'm getting all tongue-tied here. Let's go ahead and get this screen share thing going on. All right, so here we are. We are going to recreate what we have here up top, which looks to be kind of like a sportsy type of a logo / graffiti. You have like a little bit of beveling going on. You also have like this stroke going on the outside, and you have this drop shadow, and then you have a stroke going on around this typography, then a drop shadow up underneath that. So all that was created here in just one layer, and we're going to recreate this and show you how to do this step by step here in Adobe Illustrator. And to my knowledge, I'm not going to say how far back, but it really shouldn't matter which version of Illustrator you are using. I'm not really doing anything special. Just going to keep it simple, no third-party plugins or anything like that. So let's go ahead and just jump right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my text tool out, or my type tool. And let's see, I don't want to use Cincinnati. I'm going to use, let's use the word dope. And I ain't talking about dope as far as like the stuff that you take. No, I'm just talking about it being like that is so dope, like that's so live, you know? So that looks to be like a decent size. Let's shrink it down just a little bit because we are going to put a drop shadow in there. Okay, and let's center it up. Let's go ahead and pull this to the center. All right, cool. Okay, so the font that I'm using, just so guys let you know what I'm using Duodel, I guess I'm pronouncing it right. And it has all types of different like font family things. So I'm just gonna kind of go through to see if there's a different type of D that looks even better. So like that D looks cool. Oh yeah, that's even better. So I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, cool. So that's what our dope is going to look like. I gotta bring this up some. Okay, cool. All right, and I'm going to pull this up on this layer. All right, I'm gonna lock this layer up here. Okay, so the first thing that I do, or first thing that you want to do after you have your font, and you want to make sure that your font has some thickness to it, because if it doesn't, then you're going to struggle trying to get some of this beveling action going on here. So let me just go ahead and zoom in some, and I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Like if you look here, you can see like this in-cut bevel, like drop shadow thing happening. And it's like really, really dope. So you want to make sure that you have some thickness so that you can recreate that. All right. So what I normally do is I go ahead and create outline. So I right click while this is being selected and I hit create outline. So that recreates it and it's in the outline. Now, as you can see, you have all these individual pieces. Okay, you do not want that. So what you want to do is go over here to your, or wherever it is on your system, you want to go to your Pathfinder. Okay, over in your tools area somewhere it's going to say Pathfinder, and if not, you can always go to Window, and then you can go down to where it says Pathfinder, which is already selected for me. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on in the shape modes. You're going to click this very first one, and there is all anything that's touching, overlapping, it just connects. So this is just one piece now, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's toggle this layer down, and let's go ahead and start naming the layers. And it's very important to name your layers, because if you don't name your layers, sometimes you will get completely lost. So I'm gonna call this base, meaning that this is like the foundation or the floor, not the basement, but like the floor. And we're going to go ahead and start giving this a color, a specific type of a color. Now, I already have a color that I created called cream. And the way I got that, I'll just show you easily. Just double click in here. And cream is like a yellow color, but if it also has like this gray type of a tint to it. So it's not completely like white or gray. It's like it has a hint of yellow to it. Okay, so that's the kind of off color that I want. Okay, use that. And I may even switch the colors up, who knows, okay? So once I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and add this color as a new swatch. I don't need to, but I'm just gonna add it as a new swatch. Okay, cool. All right. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to recreate the bevel. So you're going to hit Command C, and then the next thing you're going to do is hold down Shift, Command, and V. And what that does is it pastes it in place. All right, and you can see that right over here. You have your base, and then you have your base. I'm going to change this to bevel. So I know what I'm dealing with. Okay. And at the same time, I'm going to change the color. I'm going to go a little darker. All right. Cool. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go up here to Effects, and we're going to go to Path and Offset Path. Now, Offset Path, it is what it says it is. It just offsets the path. It either is going to expand or it's going to contract. Okay, positive means it's going to expand. Contract means it's going to subtract, of course. All right, and then hit preview so you can see what you're doing. All right, now you see how that went out away from your vector line. That went out by 10 points all the way around. We don't want to go outward. We want to go in. So you're going to hit negative and kind of playing around. Let's see, -2. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent. Can work with that. So that's in just enough. Okay, and you're going to hit OK. All right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to come up here to Object, and you're going to hit Expand Appearance. And then that makes it official, because before it was, you was able to manipulate it, but we don't want to manipulate it. We want to make sure that this thing is concrete, that is final. Okay. So now you're going to go ahead and hit Command C to copy. Then you're going to hold Shift, Command V. Okay. Now with this one, with it still being selected, as you can see, you have this bevel up here above your original bevel. You're not going to worry about this bevel layer, because this is going to be used to cut out and give you this thin line. So it'll just, you'll see what I mean. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this a little lighter color so we can see what we're doing. It doesn't matter what color you change it to, but just so that you can see. And you want to keep also in mind where the light is coming from. If the light is coming from, let's say up here, you can tell the light is coming from this direction, from your top left shining down to your bottom right. Okay, that's very important, because if you don't pay attention and use that and keep that in mind, your bevel, drop shadows, and all that stuff will just not look right. Okay, so to make that look the way it is up there, we're going to hold down Shift, and you're going to press up a few times. And then you're going to press left a few times. So you can kind of see what you're what your bevel is starting to kind of look like already. It's starting to look pretty dope, right? And then if you want to stop right here and you're like, oh man, this is dope enough for me, then that's cool. But you want to zoom in, because if you're too far up, you see how that's overlapping? That's not, that looks more like a drop shadow. We're trying to create a bevel, and a bevel is really like a slither. It gives the illusion of it being raised just a pinch. Okay, so you want to go down to where here in this area, see right there in that area, you want to make sure that looks like just being clipped. Okay, and then you want to go around, you're going to look at all the other ones, like that spot right here. Probably scoot that over. And it's not going to be 100% perfect, but you get the idea. Like right here, you know that that's not going to be 100% perfect, but that's okay, because we're just going to go back in there and we can like delete some of that stuff. Okay, so just kind of looking over it all, you're like, okay, yeah, I like the way that looks. It looks decent. Let's see, probably move it up just a pinch, just a hair, and move it over. And I'm looking at the bottom here. Like I really want to emphasize the bottom. So I made this cheat just a little bit. Cool. All right, that's good enough. All right, now what you want to do is you're going to hold down Shift and you're going to select the bevel layer, that little circle. You're going to click that circle. That means it's selected. Now over here, back to your Pathfinder, you're going to go to the second selection. And that's going to allow you to be able to cut away the, using the top selection, it's going to be like a mask, and it's going to mask away what's up underneath. So you click that and voila. Okay, and it's grouped it together. See, like if you was to scroll and toggle this down, you will look at and find all those individual pieces. Okay, so now you can go back over here where it says group, double click it, and you're going to say bevel. Type in bevel. Cool, right? So now you click off of that and you're like, oh my freaking gosh, like, dang, we just did the easiest, hardest part. Congratulations. And if you want to stop right there, cool. But we're not going to stop right there. No, we're going to keep going until this mug is like super dope, right? Okay, so now we're going to go and we're going to select our base, and we're going to copy, and then we're going to, again, paste in place. We're going to Shift Command V. All right, and you see how it's covered it up? It's because when you do Shift Command V, it's going to put it on the very top, right? Okay, but we don't want that to be on the very top. We want this to be up underneath. Okay, so you can click and you can drag it until it falls up underneath and it's still selected, or you can go ahead and hit Command Shift and left bracket, and it throws it all the way down to the bottom. Okay, cool beans. All right, now we're going to work on this this stroke around our letters here. All right, so we're going to pick a pretty dope color. Let's go over here to your far left in your tools bar, and you're going to click this switcheroony thing here. I don't even know what these things are called. You're going to click those daggone arrows. It's going to turn it around, right? And then you're going to double click your the stroke, and then you're going to pick a nice color. So let's see, like this is kind of coming across as like really like army-ish, but thought about maybe taking it there, but let's go with this pink here, this magenta. All right, we're gonna click that, and it may be ugly, who knows? All right, and when you click off of it, you kind of see there's a light stroke around there. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and double click that bottom layer that's up underneath your base. We're gonna call this stroke 1. Okay, just so that we can keep things organized. Let's select that, and then you're going to go over to where your stroke is, your stroke weight. And again, if you don't know where that's at, just go to your window and then go down to where it says stroke, and you select it. But I already have it here, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit weight. And I'm going to hit weight again. click off of it, take a look at it. I'm like, yes, that's looking fresh. I'm loving the way that that's looking, right? And so then, yeah, I like that. And so then you can select it. And sometimes like the caps, it could be really sharp. Like if you look over here, like this end cap is really sharp and you may not like that. So you want to go to your corner and you can click your corner and you see it gets rid of that harshness. Okay, so that's with the corner, the sharp corner, or it's called mitter corner or milter, I don't know. And then this is the round joint. So you're going to click the round joint, you know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that it's like super smooth and it looks nice, okay? Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to select the base. Well, no, let's go ahead and select the stroke again, right? And we're going to copy it and we're going to paste it. And then we're going to, again, make sure that this is beneath. And we're going to call this stroke number 2. And then we're going to pick another color. We're going to go ahead and double click that. And you want to go a little darker. So maybe, let's see, maybe, I don't know, let's go like a green, perhaps, like a dark green. I don't know. Looks like gym shoe colors, I guess. I don't know. Like dark green, right? And what we're doing here is it's important because that's going to be this line right here. You see how like this blue is? Like you really don't see the blue there, or you don't notice it, but you will notice it once you start to get your drop shadow, your big fat drop shadow. That's going to make a world of a difference. Okay, so with that being selected, you're going to expand this a little bit thicker, just a little bit, just a pinch, maybe 2 clicks, maybe 3 clicks, I don't know, right? Okay, so we have that piece squared away. And with that same color, you want to go ahead and make a swatch out of that. Okay, and then you're going to go back and you're going to click the base again, all right? And you're going to Command C, copy, Shift, Command V, copy in place. Then you're going to do Shift, Command, left bracket, throw that sucker all the way back. And while that is being, you're going to click the main color, the color that's up here. You're going to go ahead and you're going to click that swatch, that color, right? And then what you're going to do is go up to your effect and we're going to, you guessed it, offset path because we want to make it bigger. But we don't want to make it that big. No, 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 no. We want to make it like maybe 3, perhaps. Let's try 3, see what that looks like. And make sure that you have preview set on because if not, you're not going to be able to see what you're doing. Let's try 5. Let's try 7. See how that's looking. It's looking fairly dope, I guess. I think so. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna go ahead and hit OK. Oh yeah, and then also the milter, you wanna do that, take that off the meter. You wanna do round. Okay, your joints. You saw how that changed? Like before you had this nasty, ugly dip there and like nasty ugliness right there. Just go ahead and hit the round. Okay, and that gets rid of it. All right, now we're going to do the drop shadow. Okay, so you're going to hold down Shift and you're going to press down until you kind of notice that right here, that it's like you start to see that first stroke right up underneath, right? Okay, so you want to go down a little bit, and then you want to go over to your right because the shadow is coming, the light is coming from up here, so the shadow is going to fall down here. Okay, zoom out some. All right, And we're going to start pressing to the right. Okay. Right, until you're like, you know what, I like the way that looks. Okay, cool. All right, nice. All right, so we're already there. It's looking dope as usual. You know what I'm saying? And then what you're gonna do is you're like, okay, now we got to add this little. You see how that's really this really light blue going around this darker blue. We're gonna do a light green going around this, but as you can see, I can't because I haven't expanded that yet. So I'm going to select change this name to drop shadow. Drop shadow. Now let's call this drop shadow 1. All right, cool. All right, so I select my drop shadow 1, and then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to expand appearance. Okay. Now, as you can see, this covers all around the whole thing, right? The whole thing. You're going to now copy, Command C, then you're going to Shift Command V, and it's covering up the whole thing, but that's cool. We're going to now do Command Shift, left bracket. It throws it all the way back. And then we're going to take this from fill, and we're going to turn this into a stroke. Right? And then we're going to go ahead and add another point to that weight. Okay? And then we're going to go and change that color. We're going to make that like, I guess like that, like a, to your own liking. I'll just say that, to your own liking. All right, now, that's pretty much it. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just created like something that was so dope. Yeah, believe that, man. Believe it. You are an artist. All right, and then we're gonna go from where it says drop shadow right here, that one that you just created, that stroke. You're gonna call this stroke, you guessed it, stroke number 3. Okay, and then we're gonna go back up here to where your drop shadow was at. And we're going to copy that. We're going to paste that, and we're going to change the color to like a gray, a grayish. Like I never really go straight gray. I kind of do like something that's close to the tint or the overall feel of what the background is going to kind of like, you know, look like in mixture with whatever's sitting on top. So it's never like a straight gray. Like that's kind of boring. Throw a little color in there, just a pinch, so you be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. All right, and then after that, you want to go to you want to take this now, and you want to go Command Shift, left bracket. It throws it behind it. All right, now we're creating this drop shadow. So now you go to Effect, and you go to Blur, and you go to Gaussian Blur, Preview, so you can see what the heck you're doing. And you see that it's already kind of giving you that feel that you want. Hit it maybe like around maybe 20, I guess. Let's see what that looks like, right? And then we're going to just pull that down just a little bit. Whoops, grabbed the wrong one. My bad, y'all. Let's go ahead, hold Shift, and just nudge it until you're like, okay, yeah, I see that. I see that. I see where that's going. I like where that's going, right? Cool. And there you pretty much have it. And then let's go ahead, and that's while we're at it, let's throw a background on there. You see how it has like the little slight like old paperish type of a feel there? We're going to get that action going on too. So you're going to click your shape, your square shape in your tools, and then get in the upper corner or whatever, however you want to do it. And you're going to cover the whole thing up. And then you're going to hold Shift, Command, left bracket, and you're gonna throw it all the way back. And if you like that and you're like, oh man, I like the way that looks, how that turned out, cool. Yeah, you can stop it right there. But remember how I created that cream swatch there? This is when that comes into play, because now I can hit this super soft black vignette. I just hit that, right? And then I don't like that color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my gradient, pull that baby up, and I'm going to get rid of this middle one here. I'm going to turn this one into that off-white. Then I'm gonna do the same thing over here, double click that and click right there. And it's like, oh my gosh, like there it is, like already, right? Nice. And then I'm gonna hit G for my gradient, and that pulls up these it gives me the ability to go ahead and to manipulate my gradient, because I don't want it to be just a dead, circle. Like that's not realistic. So I'm pulling, pushing, pulling, squeezing, as you can see right there. And I get it to where I'm like, I like it, you may have to pull it out even further. And that is pretty much it. Like, I like it. I like it. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Let me lock this layer. This layer right here that I just did. I'm going to go ahead and lock that, and I'm going to select everything, because you see how the drop shadow was just a little bit too low. I'm going to go ahead and knock this up a bit. All right, so I pulled that up, and then I'm going to shrink this just a bit, Cool. It turned out dope. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the same creation of the Cincinnati up above, and then if you want to, you could throw like little patterns in there if you want, and really just make it your own. So again, this is all done in one layer. The beautiful thing about this is that you can expand this. For those who know vector, you can make this as big as you want to, and the file is super small. So it's great to start learning how to design using Adobe Illustrator. And also, yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and let's jump back over here, and let's see. Where am I? Okay, stop presentation. Cool. So I thank you guys for tuning in with me. If you guys have any questions, you can also find me on Facebook. Just search Vernard Fields, as you can see right there. You can also find me on Twitter by searching Vernard Fields, and just follow me, ask me questions, and I'll do the best to get at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to be really personal and help people out. I even do like, one-on-ones, Google Hangout. You know what I'm saying? I did one today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys learned something. And like always, guys, always put forth your best. See you guys next time.